constituency. And the candidate for the NPP, you forget now we have Ms. Addison as the candidate. Now, the battle was between Ninoy Norte and then Ms. Addison. But what is happening now is that the candidate who's been elected says he's ready for former President Rawlings' daughter, Senator Rawlings, no matter the competition. He has also watered down allegations. He is not a grassroots person. Now, let's listen to him.
The Korley NPP parliamentary candidate has stated that he has been involved with the party's activities right from 1992 to date. Lawyer Philip Addison indicated he has now come out because things are getting worse day by day in the country. On the rerun of the Korley primaries, he had this to say.
The delay also afforded me the opportunity to go down and meet the delegates. And I believe they got to know me better because a lot of things have been said about me. Very negative and palatable things, which of course were all propaganda.
According to the lawyer, the battle lines are drawn and he is ready for the showdown with the other contestants for the Korley parliamentary seat.
I'm going to make every attempt to try and bring in, because that is what a leader should do, to try and bring everybody on board. I knew I was going to face the NDC. So I'm prepared to meet anybody they bring forward.
All right, and early in the day, some youth claiming to belong to youth groups in the Korley constituency of the party suggested that the loser should go independent. They insisted that as long as he is there, they are ready to throw their weight behind Ninoy Norte. Let me quickly welcome my guest in the studio. He is a spokesperson for Ninoy Norte, Prince Kisiabua. Prince, welcome to News at 10.
Thank you very much. Good evening to all your lovely viewers.
Thanks so much for joining us. So, Ninoy Norte's agent did not sign the declaration form?
Yeah, sure.
They did not?
We did not sign the declaration form.
Why?
Well, I want to take it from the 2nd August elections. After that particular elections, our senior colleagues, Nia JTU and Philip Addison, raised certain issues concerning that particular election. And two of them, which were the main of their issues that they raised. First of all, they said clearly that they had a problem with the date. They didn't agree to the date. That is according to them, that the date that was communicated to them was 8th and not 2nd. And secondly, they claim again that delegates who came to vote were not given accreditation, so they couldn't have ascertained that they were true delegates from the Korley constituency. So it became a strong and tight legal battle at the High Court until the party came in that for purpose of peace, let there be a rerun so that I think things and nerves could come down so that we can move on as a party. You know, initially we didn't even want to contest, but after some consultations with the delegate themselves, the business community, the religious community, and the traditional community within the constituency, it happened that for the sake and the forward movement of the party, we need to just accept and contest. Now, interestingly and very unfortunately, just this ended Saturday's election saw the same issues repeating itself and now being schemed to the benefit of Philip Addison. Per the notice of post, election was supposed to start at 8 a.m. Election started at 6:58. Clearly, yes. Clearly 1 hour, 2 minutes prior to the official time being communicated to all the stakeholders in the elections. No media house can today boast that they were there before voting started. Because when they all came around 8 o'clock, voting have already started an hour ago. Again, no delegate was given accreditation. So how could they even ascertain that these were true delegates? To the extent that our dear sister, may he so rest in perfect peace, Teresa Mesope of Alata electoral area, who was being lied in state that particular day, was still to have voted in that election.
I see.
And after the election, the ballots cast were more than the total vote turnout.
The ballots that were counted?
Yes, were more than the vote turnout, the voters that came to vote.
On the electoral roll?
Yeah, on the electoral roll. When you take the album and then you look at the commissioners signing of all the delegates that came to take their votes, you realize that the ballot papers are more than the individuals that came to vote. Because, you know, after voting, the first figure that everyone can ascertain first as the total turnout, because you do that per the issuing of the ballots.
Right.
So basically, you can just look at the number of booklets that has been used, and it gives you the total vote turnout. Now, as at that time, the EC could not communicate the exact vote turnout. Our candidate asked them, what is the total vote turnout before we started counting? 760, 763, 765, about 4 conflicting figures. They have to do all the counting and the declaration before the Electoral Commission was able to give us a definite figure. Now, the arrangement was done in a way, the barricading was done in a way that after voting, it leads you straight into the IT department to take an official 10 CD or 5 CD transportation by the party. Now, they recorded 701. We recorded 715. How does EC record 765? Even including a deceased. If not for NPP, I never knew ghosts could also vote in an election.
So these objections, these issues that you raised, is the party hierarchy aware?
Yes, I think our lawyers are putting all those necessary documents together and are going to petition the appropriate courts. But I mean, in this regard, we have seen all that we have gone through right from the particular day that Nino Norte decided to contest these seats. And we don't think the party is going to be much fair on our side, because they have proven beyond all reasonable doubt in being unfair to us. They have proven that. So basically, there are 3 options involved. It's either we just let it go, or we go to court to challenge the outcome, or we decide to go independent.
You have not taken a decision any on
No, not yet. There are basic consultations going on with stakeholders within the Nino campaign team, but I can say emphatic that we are not accepting the outcome, the results of that particular elections on Saturday.
The party needs that pace to go into this election, and from what you just told me, it means that that pace will certainly elude the party if it should continue the way.
But basically, the party should have known much better that election that went on 2nd August, if some of our colleagues have challenged on specific issues that was alleged, you understand, and then the party, for the sake of peace, have come out that let's go for a rerun. I think they owe the party people a responsibility to make sure that everything goes on free and fair. To the extent that when I got to the grounds 10 minutes to 7, and then they called for Nino, his agent. So it was only one agent around. So when he went, I said, okay, fine. I'm his special agent. I'm his spokesperson. So I need to go inside and act in the position of the second agent, because the first agent will be having the album. And so you queue before him, you tell him your name and your electoral area. He flips about maybe 15 pages, cross-check the polling station, and then take. So the moment he allows you pass, there's another person in front of him.
Right.
So you just raise your head, cross-check, up, cross-check. Now, he's sitting 2 meters in front of the electoral officers. So he's not privy to what is happening behind him. So the second agent needs to be there to make sure that each and everyone is being given a single ballot. And no one is also putting any foreign material into the ballot box. For a whooping 2 hours, no one was there to do that checks on behalf of Nino Norte. I protested at the entrance. I wasn't even allowed to enter into the premises of the party head office until the deputy regional secretary came in to let them know, no, this gentleman is an official agent of Nino Norte. So in the absence of me, he could enter and then do all those cross checks on behalf. By then, after that 6:30, about 60 delegates on the side of lawyer Philip Addison have already queued. So you could see that they had something fishy doing, and we weren't surprised of the result that came, because it really manifested that indeed something went on that early morning.
Is it going to affect the party? You're going against a formidable candidate in the person of Dr. Zinato Rawlings. How do you see the chances of the party?
Thank you very much. I mean, I think with the way the party have handled things so far, the party does not stand a brighter chance, especially as to what they have taken Nino Norte through and how they have mishandled the young man. I mean, it has demotivated the young people in the party within the constituency. You can send your men to the grounds and do those checks for yourself. Honestly, today you can see, you saw it yourself.
Let me play back some results of this particular constituency, and quickly let's show you. These are results in previous elections. You can see on your screens there, and you have the NDC's David Lamptey, you have Gilbert Korley of the NPP, and then Terry Okuno, an independent candidate there. Now, this is 1996, how that constituency fared as far as the votes were concerned. David Lamptey there, Gilbert Korley, and then Tai Okuno there. Now, in 2000, this is how the figures were or looked like. Ni Eduda Kumante of the NPP with that vote, 51.7, and then David Lamptey of the NDC, 35.7. That's in 2000. So you can see now, fast forward 2004, Nia Shitiama there, 30,000 plus votes, 45% of the vote secured, and then Ni Eduda Kumante there again retaining that seat, 48.5%. That was in 2004. So now let's go on and show you 2008. You can see there then there was some change there. Niashite then wins the seat, 30,000 plus votes, 50.6% of the votes, and then Samuel J. Ajetaria of the NPP there securing 46% of the vote. Now, 2012, Niamashite again retaining his seat. So that's how the seat has been jumping from one person to the other, and this time it's going to be quite tough. But let me quickly pick a word or two from David Agbe, and then we quickly move on and wrap up the interview with the spokesperson for Ni Norte. David Agbe has joined me on the phone lines. David, grateful for your time tonight. That seat there in the Greater Accra region, how would you say it is crucial to both the NDC and the NPP?
Right, thank you so much. I think that Korley is more like the heart of Greater Accra, and so anything that happens there politically is such that the NPP and NDC need to critically assess, the environment very well. And so, if there is this contest between the NPP, Philip Addison, and then the other gentleman, I think that what needs to be done at this point in time is that the political leaders need to actually find a way of minimizing the conflict between the political leaders and the grassroots members. And so at this point in time, one would have expected that the leaders of the party, especially their flag bearer, need to actually intervene such that Ni will not go as an independent candidate. Should Ni go for an independent candidate, then obviously NPP is going to lose the seat. And so at this point in time, I will kindly suggest that Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, the flag bearer of the NPP, need to quickly intervene, such that they could be able to pay the cost that Ni actually used to contest for the seat, which first one he won, the second one he lost. So he has actually incurred some quite a reasonable cost, which the party need to compensate him so that at least the dust will settle for that constituency.
But how do you jump to that conclusion? Because on the part of the NDC, they are also in court. Dr. Zenato Rollins is in court, and Niamashite has not given up yet. And so we could see the same kind of confusion in the camp of the NDC. So isn't it perhaps too early to conclude that the NPP could lose the seat because Nino has decided to go independent?
Right, let me say that at this point in time, as you show the figures, I think that the last time Ni Ashite won almost about close to 2,000. And so now MPP is actually keenly looking for that position again. MPP won 2000 and 2004. And so at this point in time, one would have expected that they should be more like bridging the gap. They should be able to adapt a strategy that they could be able to bridge the gap. But as we speak now, there is so much confrontation, there is so much conflict at that constituency, and which is not good for the political party. And so one should expect, or one would have expected, that by now they should be able to minimize that conflict at that constituency. Although NDC is also fighting, just like you made mention, Zenato Rollins and the current MP, Nia Mashite, is also battling the same issue at the court. But then, at this point in time, one should say that NPP, as a political party, need to avoid some of these kind of conflicts. It doesn't paint the political party in a good light at all. And especially that their presidential candidate is working so hard, the various constituencies need to support him. And so some of this confrontation is not good for the NPP at all.
I'm grateful. David Agbe is the Executive Director of the Ghana Institute of Governance and Security. They're talking to me on the Korley issue. Prince is still here. Let's wrap up our conversation. Prince, so is there a way to deal with it? How can this be resolved? Can it be done?
Well, thank you very much. I think
you have a candidate now. So how do you resolve and bring the two contestants together and see a party united moving forward to contest the seat?
First of all, we don't recognize him as our candidate. That should be
the party does, you know,
yeah,
that.
The party
does.
Yes, but we also have that right to recognize somebody or not. We don't. Because initially, in the 2nd August election, what really went wrong? If you have issues that you claim we should go for a rerun, and you repeat the same issues and you scheme them to your advantage, what makes this one authentic? What makes this one so different from the other one? You saw the screens. Did you see any delegates entering with an accreditation? You showed it on the screens. Ghanaians were watching. No delegates entered with accreditation. And these were the key things that Philip Addison took to court. That even the court didn't give ruling that the party have to decide on it forcefully. That decision was so harsh and so bad. But I mean, for the sake of peace, we agreed and come into the elections. And then you go in again to do some of these fraudulent acts and scheme it to the benefit of one person. You know, I just don't get it. It's so demotivating.
It cannot be resolved. There can be no peace. Is that what you're saying?
Well, there can be peace.
Yes.
Unless maybe there's another rerun, a third rerun.
Then
there should be a third rerun. We should be more free and fair.
That is the only way to bring peace.
That is the only way. That is the only way. Another rerun to make it fair and clean. That is the only way. Other than that, any of these three options, very soon we'll choose one.
Prince, I'm grateful for your time tonight.
Thank you very much for this opportunity too.
Prince Kisiabo is a spokesperson for Ni Norte, the losing candidate in the Korley rerun of the NPP parliamentary race.